Hey everybody, Dr. Eric Plasker here. Welcome to our Facebook Live session that we're going to have today. And so excited to be with you with my good friend from ChiroSecure and from the world of chiropractic, I should say, Dr. Stu Hoffman. Welcome, Stu. Thanks for joining us, man.
Hey, thanks, Eric. Glad to be here with you. As you know, and as you said, we've been friends for a long, long time, and glad to be here.
Thank you. My pleasure. And while we're waiting for our audience to join us, as our company, the Family Practice, supporting so many people out in the world, out in the profession, chiropractors, helping them grow by over $1 billion over the last 20 years, delivering high integrity, lifetime chiropractic care to as many people as possible, leading their community. You have been doing your thing in the world of security, watching people's back with ChiroSecure. And you know, what I realized, and we're going to talk about a lot of that, offense, defense, and special teams. The topic of this today is going to be offense, defense, and special teams. And before we even get into that, though, I realized that, you know, we have a lot in common, man. You have two brothers that are chiropractors, correct?
That's right.
Very good. Bob and Steve.
That's
good
right.
guys. I know them. And I have two brothers that are chiropractors. Good guys, Jordan and Noel up in New Jersey there. And you've been in chiropractic for a long time, but you're also involved in the profession. Talk to me about, and we share this love for this profession. Talk to us a little bit as we're waiting for our audience to join us, and this will be valuable too. Why do you love chiropractic so much?
Well, there's a definite response to that, but I want to start by acknowledging what you said about the influence that you've had on so many doctors and therefore so many patients, because at ChiroSecure, one of the things that we believe in and we strive every day to accomplish is to be able to do something much bigger than being a risk management company or sell an insurance policy. Our mission is actually to change the public perception of chiropractic, period. And everything that we do, including being on here with you, Eric, is designed to fulfill that mission. So, you know, I just want to share that we are in sync in so many ways. But, you know, from why do I love chiropractic? Well, there's countless ways. There's so many ways. And
you should make a song about that.
Started way back when I was much younger. And when I was 12 years old, you know, right before my bar mitzvah, I actually was playing soccer in school. And, you know, this was just a first issue, but I was playing soccer in school and I dove, which is unlike me to begin with, to save the last kick of the game. And I went down, but the only problem was I couldn't get back up. And I was actually wheeled into the nurse's office or whatever. My mother had to come and pick me up. And my parents had always gone to the chiropractor. My great-grandmother went to the chiropractor in 1905. We've talked about that.
Nice.
My mother decided to take me to a chiropractor out on Long Island. And the chiropractor took me, said, oh yeah, let's get him adjusted. And he did. And one of the reasons that, you know, people ask me, we've done ChiroSecure shows on X-ray and the ACA's position on X-ray. I find X-ray so important because of my own personal experience. If that chiropractor would have taken X-rays of me, maybe I wouldn't have wound up in surgery getting a dislocated femur head put back in place from an orthopedist instead of the chiropractor, and having 3 pins in my hip for the last 46 years. So I know the good, and I know when we come up short in terms of what we do, but I had my own personal experience where, you know, I could have actually died, and chiropractic saved my life. And I'm not going to get into that whole story because that would take up our whole time, but just know that, like, when we were going to school, and I was a little bit before you, there were people that showed up in school as students for all types of reasons. And there was always a group of us that was there because we had our own personal experience. And that personal experience taught us to be what I called an extraordinary chiropractor rather than an ordinary chiropractor, because we wanted to find out everything about the why we do what we do as a chiropractor. And knowing that, then you're going to do whatever it takes to get the how we do what we do. And all of those things led from one thing to another to just getting more and more involved and just it becoming who you are in a sense rather than a job or a profession.
Yeah, and we have that in common as well, obviously, because this is an adventure for us and for me, not just a job. And lifetime care for everyone has been a mission, like you say, getting it to the people. In fact, if you're watching this and you want a free copy of the 100-Year Lifestyle Second Edition, we just started the great giveaway this year for 2018. We are giving away an email copy of the 100-Year Lifestyle Second Edition for anybody that wants it. So if you will email Elissa, ELISSA, at thefamilypractice.net or my100 at 100yearlifestyle.com, either one of those, then we will send it to you. And it's the great giveaway. And we're excited about that because we want to get it to the masses and get this message to the masses and attract people all over to chiropractic care. Let's talk a little bit about the topic at hand, offense, defense, and special teams. Because in any business and in chiropractic, of course, as a profession, as a caring about people, the services that you provide, and also for those of you that are watching, that it is also your practice, your business, offense, defense, and special teams is really important. Let's start with offense a little bit, because I do think it's important that obviously we want you to have as many new patients as possible. We want them to stay for a lifetime. That's been our mission, lifetime care for everyone. Talk to us a little about, from your perspective, offense. I'll share some insights as well, and then we'll get into defense and special teams. And if you're watching this, stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of great insights from both Dr. Stu at ChiroSecure, and also from myself.
Well, Eric, I think we're talking about the same thing when we look at offense. What are we doing to be proactive? That's how I like to talk about it. And because we can be defensive, and we'll get to that, but in being proactive, everything about our business at ChiroSecure is all based on proactive stance. We want doctors to call us before they have a claim. If you have an incident or something goes off to left field somewhere, we want you to call us so that we can actually coach the doctor through, because we have 26 years of experience in doing that successfully to hopefully avoid a claim. But from a chiropractic point of view, I've done things like been and still am very involved with the International Chiropractors Association. I've been involved with the Chiropractic Summit. And interestingly enough, just today, I got a memo that the Chiropractic Summit is about 43 different organizations around the chiropractic world that came together with the intent that if we can sit in a room as grown-ups and put our differences aside, we can make a difference and move the profession forward. And, still debatable, but that's a separate note. Well, today the ACA, after all these years, decided it's not in their best interest to play with everybody. They're going to focus on their own organization. So, whatever it is, but we still support all of these measures to bring chiropractic to the people. And one of the things that I go and speak about all over the country in the seminars that I teach is this stroke issue. It is more and more prevalent in at least in terms of claims showing up. And, we can have a debate all day about, can a chiropractor cause a stroke? Can they possibly be the cause? And, we've done many shows on that. I don't need to relitigate that.
And that we'll do a completely separate show on that topic in detail if you want to later on, for sure.
I think it's important. It became a mission of mine. It's why, after probably 10 years of not being on the road and speaking anywhere, that I felt like I had to come back out and educate the doctors so that the doctors could then educate their own patients in a proper way, because they call me up after having a patient on the table vomiting and dizzy saying, what do I do? Well, hang up the damn phone and call 911, and then we'll talk later. But because of this whole stroke deal, it made me concerned for the entire profession. I'm concerned that if the public and the media put out so much information that chiropractors cause strokes, that the patients or prospective patients that can be helped only through their chiropractor don't go because they're afraid to. That's a concern of mine. And we have so many forces telling them not to do it. When Palmer did their Gallup poll, they spent $1 million to poll the public on chiropractic. They found out very little that we didn't already know. But what they did was they validated what we did know.
Which is?
One of the things about that was that the people that they questioned that had never been to a chiropractor and weren't planning to go, the number one reason was because they were afraid to get their neck adjusted. That goes totally into the media bias, who, if you, and I know of all people, you know, because we've spoken about it, that every single television station has a medical director, not a chiropractic director. It's all fed through, and we need to overcome all of this. And so that's why I say changing the public perception, because we need to be putting out to the doctors to not be defensive, to be educational. And if you're educational, you'll create warriors that are your patients that will go and tell everyone else that that's a bunch of garbage, what they're putting out when something explodes in the media, and they will help instead of run away from you. So these are just some of the things. And even the One Chiropractic organization that was started about a year ago, it's all intended to bring chiropractic to the public so that we actually do something unlike the traditional organizational structure.
That's great. And I'm involved in those organizations as well that you
Exactly.
mentioned. What a coincidence, right? But before I give you my sense on offense here, which is great, and I appreciate what you just said, and so do our listeners. Give me the raw stats quickly, just the stats on chiropractors causing strokes.
It's less than 1/10%.
Beautiful.
But this is the real numbers that the doctors need to hear. You asked for it raw. 1 in 275 chiropractors will have a patient under active care that has a vertebral artery dissection leading to stroke this year. That's quite a few chiropractors. And I did not say, and I would not say, that the chiropractors caused one of those strokes.
Good clarification.
Another time, another place. But that's a lot. When I first started 26 years ago, even 15 years ago, if we had, and this is what I tell people, if we had 1, 2, 3, 4 stroke calls in a year, that would make our head spin, because these potential $1 million payouts could bankrupt an insurance company or a program, or totally raise the rates everywhere. And now, if I get less than 2 a month, it's been a damn good month. So not all of them turn into claims, as I talked about. Not all of them do we lose, by the way. We've done more research. We've spent in excess of $1 million with our partners, having a legal team research how to defend a chiropractor in these stroke allegations, since we know that we're not an actual cause. We are associated with them, but it's not a cause and effect. And the last 2 claims that went to court, Most of them don't, but the last 2 that did, we actually won. And we're damn proud of that. Doesn't mean the next one or the next one or the next one, but it is so hard as opposed to going to, well, if you're going to go to court, understand that juries are much more sympathetic to a patient than to a doctor. And it's an upward battle. But when you win that, that's really good. So.
Yeah, no, it's exciting that you won. And I'm going to go back for the sake of this discussion, right? We said offense, defense, and special teams. I'm going to put what you just described in the context primarily of defense and special teams, but now I'm also going to relate it to offense, because the number that I heard that stuck out most to me, but I heard both of them, the 1 in 275 and the 1/10 of 1%. But I'm going to focus on the 1/10 of 1% here for a minute. We as a profession, I want you as a chiropractor to fearlessly, because you have good offense, integrity, high integrity procedures, high integrity marketing, high integrity patient education. It's our expertise at the family practice. We've been doing it for 2 decades. It's why we're, I believe, one of the most enduring organizations of our kind in the profession, just like you are, Stu. And there's a lot of people that will pop up and disappear and pop up and disappear. And
that's right.
Pop up and disappear. It takes a lot to be enduring. That's why I admire your work so much. When you look at the numbers, 1/10 of 1%, let's just pretend for a minute that we were the allopathic establishment that had a 35% error rate.
Yes.
Chiropractors, because of who we are as people, if we had that kind of error rate, we would be jumping off of buildings every day. We don't have the emotional sensitivity and capacity to handle that type of failure. And so I think what's important is that the reason why defense and special teams is so important, like Dr. Stu is talking about, and with their expertise and what they do, is so that you can fearlessly go out into the world and serve more people with the things that you do as a chiropractor and educate people to want the entire community under care. Listen, it is I have an x-ray behind me, actually. It's a 3 x-ray poster that we created. It's 3 people that are exactly the same age. And you probably can't see it, and I don't have the zoom in capability here right now, but it shows 3 people, one that's put under what we call lifestyle care, that has no degeneration and good alignment. Then we have somebody that came in, a patient that just used chiropractors for crisis care only. And you look at it, it's the center one, and they have mild deterioration at C5, C6. And then you have somebody that's never been under chiropractic care. All 3 of them have histories of concussions, head injuries, whiplashes, etc. The one on the left has never had any chiropractic care, just allopathic treatment, covering up symptoms, masking pain, and they have degeneration at 4 different segments. So these are 3 people that are exactly the same age, and all of these bones within these people are exactly the same age. And so the reality of it is getting to people early, keeping their spine and nervous system healthy, functioning properly is vital, not just for their own well-being, but like you and I know, Stu, it changes people's lives. You put more people that are healthy into the world and you create a healthier world. And so if you know you have your back covered because of the things that you're saying and you have good defense and good expertise in your corner, you have the freedom to go out and get more people under care. And listen, the doctors that we work with, they attract babies, kids, families, seniors, everybody in between, athletes, pregnancy, everyone. It's lifetime care for everyone because they're going about it fearlessly. And to your point, which I think is really important, I got 2 things to say, and then I'm going to hear what you have to say about this because it's valuable. When about a year ago, I had a situation where I had a patient that had not been in months, but I found out that even though they hadn't been in months after their last visit, they had a stroke situation occur. Now, I hadn't seen them in probably 3 months, hadn't adjusted them in 5 months, but I still called you. I spoke to your son. He did a great job. He told me what to do. He said, go check your documentation, make sure your documentation is up to date, et cetera, make notes, be specific, et cetera, and then put it in a drawer and go to work, is basically what he said. And I'm paraphrasing. And you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm glad you got my back, man. I'm glad you got my back. And so to know that the company that you're with has your back, which a lot of you don't know. You're with a company and you have no idea what their background is. You just signed up for it and you've been paying the premium for the last 20 years, 10 years, 15 years, and you have no idea what they stand for. That you don't know if they stand for what you believe in, if they're going to have your back and defend you the way that you defended your people. What I think is important, why the special teams and the defense and special teams is so important, it gives you the fearlessness to be on offense, to do your job as a chiropractor, to go out into the world and get lots of people under care so that you know you're doing it right. So that's the first point to what you're saying. Second point, my brother, who's a chiropractor, told me this story one time. This is a mind-boggling story, actually. He said, Eric, listen, I had a patient, you're not going to believe this. He said, I had a patient that was scheduled for a 2 o'clock adjustment. They didn't show up. I didn't know what happened to them, called them up on the phone, didn't hear from that person for about 10 days. Finally, the patient called him back, and my brother says, hey, where you been, man? He said, actually, you know that day that I was supposed to see you? And my brother said, yeah, I remember that. And the guy said, well, my appointment was at 2. At 11 o'clock, I had a stroke. I'm glad I didn't come see you because I thought I would have blamed it on you.
That's exactly right.
And so I got chills. And I think I got the timeline where I think the appointment was at 11, something like that. At 2 o'clock, he had a stroke. So he had a stroke after he was supposed to have the appointment.
Right.
And he said, I would have blamed it on you. And there's a lot of that going around. So for this 1/10 of 1%, that's the one. I mean, come on, chiropractors. We know that you can get 99 out of 100 people better and you take home the one that doesn't respond. Well, sometimes this 1/10 of 1% is the one that keeps you from going all out, all
That's
in
right.
to what you're doing. So,
Eric, I want to add to what you're saying, because that's why you get to coach people, because you have so much value based on your own experience and your own success. And one of the things that you brought up about, the doctors going all out. Yeah, I live in a little bit of a different bubble with it in dealing with the doctors than you do. In my bubble, sometimes they're held up from going all out because, an example, I just had a doctor yesterday for the last 2 days that has a Medicare audit. They want a lot of money back from the doctor. My first question to him is, okay, how were the notes that you sent into them? Well, I'm really not good at that. I don't really care about my notes. Well, this is 2018. That's not optional. Yeah. You have to play by the rules if you're going to be in the game. And likewise, I had another doctor that, this going back about 2 years, she was a newer doctor and did Blair upper cervical work. And she calls me up because a massage therapist was referring a patient in to see her. And the reason for the referral is the patient was a quadriplegic. But when the massage therapist did work on the patient's neck, the patient had some tingling in the legs, thinking that, well, maybe if the chiropractor were able to help, which kudos to the massage therapist, right? Then maybe she can regain something. So she wants to know if I think that she should take care of her. I said, well, tell me more about the history. Well, they did surgery. They put 11 stents in her brain.
wow.
And when they did that, they cut off the posterior arch of the atlas and part of the occiput in order to accomplish that. And I'm sitting here saying, oh my God, no, I don't recommend that you adjust that person, at least not in their neck. She says, well, why not? I said, well, first of all, why would you be so surprised? You called me because you wanted my opinion. And I explained to her that whether or not I would do it, because that may be a different answer. You're a younger practitioner without the experience that I have. I have no idea of your capabilities. I know the Blair technique. I said, when I had one of my first patients that had low back surgery, I chose not to adjust his low back. I adjusted his neck and the guy got better. Holy cow. Why don't you check the rest of her spine and work on that rather than being stuck? And she was so stuck, and it became obvious that if the woman was willing to come into her, she was going to adjust her. And so I finally said, okay, let's go to the scenario that you're going to take care of her. Let's see how you can protect yourself and the patient at the same time. And we don't need to go into it now, but we went through from a technique perspective and how to do it, and based on outcomes, what to do next. And it was valuable, but people have to have the goods. And I know you even teach this in terms of they need to be a master at the technique. They can't just be rack 'em and crack 'em. That was so 1970s.
Right.
And that just isn't good enough in today's environment. And in terms of the 35% error rate, oh my gosh, come on. We wouldn't be in business. It's not that we couldn't handle it. We would not be in business.
Yeah.
So we have a double standard everywhere we look. You signed up for that the day you entered chiropractic school. So get used to it if you haven't already, and just work with it the best you can, and stop being a defensive individual. You should know enough and be expert enough at your communication skills to educate people rather than to defend yourself, because we're not the ones that need to defend killing people left and right every single day, are we? And
yeah.
You teach all of this to people, and they should listen and follow what the heck you're teaching, because they'd be an ultra success just like you and so many of the others you've taught.
Well, thank you for that. And yeah, and you know, it's interesting. I had a guy come in who had a bicycle accident, 50-year-old guy, mid-50s. And, you know, we just don't take care of 50-year-old people. We have people that obviously babies, kids, families, athletes, everybody in between. It's lifetime care for everyone. That's the law of exponential growth. That'll be a topic for another training that we do, or video that we do down the road. This guy, though, he came in. In fact, I posted a picture of him on the Family Practice fan page. He just rode 6,000 miles on his bicycle last year, 2017. But 5 or 6 years ago, he fell off his bicycle while in a race going down a hill, landed on his head, broke his neck, C5, C6, had surgery there. He shows me, in fact, Dr. Riekman referred him to me because he knows that I'm very good and effective at cervical chair adjusting and very specific. And in fact, we have a cervical chair adjusting seminar coming up in a few weeks in Atlanta. But I looked at his x-ray and I'm like, you know what? I'm not adjusting this guy's cervical chair. He had a metal plate that was C4 to C7. But what I also noticed is that C2, C3, there was a lot of decay, a lot of degeneration, and it was subluxated. 3 adjustments, activator on his C2 or C3, I think it was, and his allergies that he had for his entire life cleared up. So listen, it's important that we become great doctors, great healers, play offense, defense, and special teams, and fearlessly go out into the world. I'm going to give you a closing thought because we're running over. We got a lot to share, man. We got a lot of wisdom that we're sharing today. I hope people are enjoying this session. I appreciate your worldliness and your wisdom. It's so meaningful. We are giving away, we have the great 100-year lifestyle giveaway going right now. It's my 100 at 100yearlifestyle.com. Send an email, or ELISSA, Alyssa at thefamilypractice.net. Either email. Some of you have them already, so I'm just letting you know it's my 100 at 100yearlifestyle.com, or Alyssa, ELISSA at thefamilypractice.net. Talk about going on offense. That book and the paradigm that we have created and the branding we have created around that, I don't even know how many. It's probably in the millions of people that have either chosen to participate in chiropractic care or become lifetime patients as a result of it. After 10 years, it's still going strong. We just decided we wanted to get out there in mass like crazy over this period of time. It's not going to last forever. For now, we're going to January 31st. So all of your patients, anybody you know, we're happy to get it out. We want them to have it. And let's get lots of people under care, lifetime care from day one. If you need support, if you want, we have an entire lifetime patient system that uses not just the 100-year lifestyle, but all of the business principles, the procedure, communication training, that the family practices over 1,500 trainings on everything from marketing to business, all kinds of things in the lifetime patient system. We have a connection program if you just want to kind of plug in and stay tuned for a while and check it out, see if you like it. No long-term commitment with that. We'd love to be a part of your journey. Stu, give us some closing thoughts, my friend. ChiroSecure doing a great job in the profession. Such an honor to work with you. Closing thoughts.
Thanks, Eric. First, you know, you are the people you surround yourself with, and you're one of those influential people that I'm humbled and I'm proud to call you a friend. I'm so proud of the work that you do. I'm glad you just put out that whole promotion, and everyone should jump on board. I have the book and I love it. I think that Eric has done an unbelievable job with what he does. Please take it seriously. And at the same time, you know, anyone that's listening, I know a lot of you are already with us at ChiroSecure. If you're not, give us an opportunity. That's all we ask for. I personally write our policy. I can't say that about any other policy in the entire profession. And I would love the opportunity to have my team share with you the benefits that you will gain from our policy and price. But above and beyond all of that, please jump on board to our mission and help support us in supporting you and the chiropractic world in getting to more people by having chiropractic help change the public perception. And, you know, you can go to our website, chirosecure.com. Please like us on Facebook and call us 866-802-4476. And Eric, we talked about strokes for a little bit. When we do, most doctors at this point are utilizing an informed consent. I'd love for the doctors that want ours. We spent 1.5 years developing it in a chiropractic friendly way. If they want to text us, it's 480-500-6574 and just type in Plasker. You should know who that guy is. And we will send you an entire PDF packet of our informed consent, how to implement it, and all the research for you to have at your fingertips so that you can educate people rather than be defensive, because we need to be damn proud of who we are, what we do, and most important on this topic, how safe we are compared to any other option that they have. So thanks for having me, Eric.
My pleasure, Stu. Hey, listen, lifetime care for everyone. We are the family practice. Thank you for being with us today. We want you to live your ideal 100-year lifestyle, enjoying every day along the way, having a great practice. So practice it, live it, enjoy it, and offense, defense, special teams. Thanks again, Stu. Love and appreciate you all. See you next time. Thanks, everybody.